Hey, glory to Jesus Christ, Mike Braceland back with you, and this is the third video in the start of our Bible series that we're doing, moving away from Christmas and going into Lent. The first video obviously was how to pick a Bible in order to get started. Second was where to get started reading based on your personality type and things like that. And this third video is going to be just supplemental materials that might help you gain a bigger picture of what's going on. Obviously, the collection of books in the Bible is big and somewhat confusing to get started in. So these are just going to be some materials that help give that broader picture, so it's easier to fit together how everything works out scripturally. So first, in my first video, I said that I wanted to get a bigger Douay-Rheims. I got one. This is great. Fantastic. I think it's like $35 on Amazon right now. Great pages. Really flexible. Love it. It's going to be my new go-to non-study Bible. So really excited about that. Okay, so to the actual point of the video. First, I'd say to get a really good big picture approach to the Bible in a very simple format. I mean, anybody could read these books. These books can be given to middle school kids and above, and they'd get it, right? So first, John Bergsma. John Bergsma was a scripture professor of mine at Franciscan University, and super humble, super intelligent, and really easy to understand man. And he put these great books together. First one is Bible Basics for Catholics, okay? And I kid you not, this is broken down so Barney style that he actually uses stick figures to explain what's going on in the big story. This is mostly focuses on the covenants of the Old Testament moving into the New Testament, and it's just a really great introduction to the Bible as a whole. Next would be John Bergsma again. This is a supplement to his Bible Basics for Catholics. It's New Testament Basics for Catholics. So the first book went a little bit into the New Testament, but it covered the whole Bible, so it didn't go as deep into the New Testament as this one does. And again, stick figures, and it's just really great. It's really broken down in a way to where it's easy to read, easy to understand, and you could get this really great big picture knowledge of the Bible without having to read the whole Bible up front, which is good, but you know, it's good to have that big picture. In addition to that, Scott Hahn is another great professor at Franciscan, and you know, you can see my biases to Franciscan here, but Scott Hahn is a notable Catholic theologian and convert, and he wrote A Father Who Keeps His Promises. This is great if you want something that covers a lot of what John Bergsma put together, but it's just a little bit different way. They're both very readable, and I recommend them both if you wanted them. So again, it's A Father Who Keeps His Promises, God's Covenant Love in Scripture. Okay, so that's a great book. So those are some good overview books. If you wanted something a little bit more formal to read, I mean, this is very formal, but if you wanted to read it directly from the Church and the Bible, okay, it's the official documents of the Catholic Church all the way up until, I think this was put together in the 1960s, so it has everything up to Vatican II, I want to say. But I mean, it's just got this great directory of all these official documents of the Catholic Church and what it has to say, going all the way back to the earliest documents that we had up to that point. So it's really good. If I can't imagine you picking this over the first couple that I showed you, but if you're just you just really want to get into it, then I guess that would be great. I don't read this, you know, page to page. I usually just use it as a reference, but it is a great reference and a great document to read. Of course, you don't have to get this whole book to read it, but reading Dei Verbum from Vatican II is a great introduction and summary of what the church teaches on Scripture. And you could just type that into Google and print off a PDF if you want. So that's Dei Verbum. I definitely recommend reading that regardless. Okay, but that was, if you want to go extreme, then you could get that collection. Let's see, next would be, if you want to go a little bit deeper, this is a Catholic introduction to the Bible. It's for the Old Testament. It was also put together by Bergsma and Pitre, and it's really great because it's going to go through all the books of the Old Testament, and it's going to break down structure, survey, theological issues, structural issues, things like that. It's really written in a very readable way. It's just very systematic. It goes through, and you could use it as a reference or just reading. What I did was let me see here. What I did is I just went through, and if I read a book of the Bible, I just go back here and just reintroduce myself to it. Since I've already read the book, and I would just want to go a little bit deeper into the content, I would just do that, and I leave my notes and things like that. That's from Isaiah. So this is great. Again, a Catholic introduction to the Bible. It doesn't have the Scripture in it. It's just a kind of a comment. It's a commentary, basically. Let's see here. Another good one so that was just the Old Testament. A good one for the New Testament is the Ignatius New Testament Study Bible, and I think you get that for like $30 on Amazon. That is absolutely fantastic. So that Bible, it's an actual Bible. It has the Scripture, unlike that that Old Testament commentary I just pointed out. But the comments go much more in depth than your traditional commentary that maybe the ones that I pointed out in video 1. So Scripture video 1. So that would be good supplement or companion to that Old Testament book. And I'd even further that, if you really wanted to get more of a contextual understanding and just read and learn about the New Testament in the same way that this Old Testament book, there's, this is mine, there's many out there, but, New Testament Theology and Introduction. So that'd be great just for gaining a kind of a high-level understanding of the New Testament. So there's different combinations of things you could do here. There's no right or wrong way to do. Well, there is some wrong ways to do it, but typically, there's a lot of different resources out there depending on how deep you want to go. So we went from Bergsma and Hahn, super, introductory level. Went a little bit deeper right there with Old Testament commentary, and going a little bit deeper in the New Testament and the structure and what it's about and things like that. If you want to go even deeper, then I'd suggest buying a commentary, which is a little bit more money, but they're fantastic because then you read the Bible, and then you can go to a commentary and learn more about maybe the particular verses and things like that. So like here's one that I have this collection here. It's a Catholic commentary on sacred scripture. It's an okay commentary. It's good. I use it. It goes as deep as usually 99.9% of people need to go. So again, that's a Catholic commentary on sacred scripture. That's what it looks like. And each one of these, they make them. So this is 1st and 2nd Peter and Jude. They make them. I think there's like a dozen of those, and each one of them is $15. Here's another one if you really want to spring for a great addition to a library. Is the Catena Aurea. That is a commentary on the 4 Gospels. This one is just Matthew's. Okay, and there's 3 more, and it's just for the Gospels. And this was put together by St. Thomas Aquinas. He did not write any of this. This is purely a collection of commentary and notes from the Church Fathers. So it's fantastic if you really want to read the Bible in conjunction with what the Fathers had to say about it. then this is the book series for you. Okay. And then you could even go deeper. So there's multiple layers here of how deep you could go in learning about the New Testament and the Old Testament, or the whole biblical codex as a whole. Another great commentary is the Navarre Commentaries. Those are a little pricier. I don't have it because I can't afford it, but that's a great commentary. I've used it just in libraries and things like that. If you want to go a little bit deeper, here's a great journal that comes, they might put out one of these a year. I think it is just a yearly journal, and it's topical. So Letter and Spirit. It's called Letter and Spirit. Okay. And this one's about the relationship between the Old and New Testaments, and it just goes a lot deeper, and it has multiple authors. It's compiled by, I think, the St. Paul Center for Biblical Theology. That's fantastic. And then you get even deeper into topics like the person of Jesus Christ, right? Going with a notable Protestant apologist, William Lane Craig, wrote this book, The Sun Rises. If you want a historical account of demonstrating the viability of the resurrection of Jesus, this is an incredible book. Less the last chapter, which I didn't agree with the last chapter, but everything else in it is absolutely incredible. So that's like topical. How about going back to Catholics? Pope Benedict, Jesus of Nazareth, right? He has a 3-part series just on the person of Jesus. That's fantastic. And this is still, I know these aren't biblical commentaries, but every page is saturated with Scripture, and it's all biblically based, right? We're a biblical people. And again here, Brant Pitre, Jesus and the Jewish roots of the Eucharist. This is great. I think he has one on Mary as well, which I haven't read. I've heard it was good, but this is, although it's a topic about Jesus and the Eucharist, it's just a commentary, if you will, on the biblical evidence for it. So that just really dives into deeper content. And then finally, I'm not going to show you my whole library here, but if you want to learn more about how the Bible is covered in the liturgy, here's a great book here, The Heavenly Banquet. Okay, right there. This goes into every part of the liturgy. And it's got different color usages. It's got information boxes. It's broken down really well, so you could go to one part and you could learn about the theological history of what's happening there, and of course what the corollary is to the Holy Scriptures. Like I said, we're a biblical people, and often you hear people maybe coming from Protestant backgrounds. Once they learn about the liturgy, they're like, wow, it is more biblical than any service I've ever been to, even on the Protestant side of things. So really learning about how the Bible is intertwined with our liturgical life is incredible, right? So, anyways, that's all I wanted to cover. Again, here we are. I've been talking for 13 minutes now. Like I said before, this is the Bible is a big part of my life, and I'm continuing to try to make it even a bigger part of my life. And I think we should all be well-formed in the Holy Scriptures to one degree or another. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a scriptural theologian. I'm certainly not. But as Christians, we're called to understand the Holy Scriptures, because that teaches us who we are as Christians. It teaches us about Christ, and it helps us grow in our relationship with Christ. So it's so important that we continue to work on gaining a good understanding and building on our knowledge of the Holy Scriptures, and continuing to add more elements of knowledge regarding it. So that's what we're going to do. Like I said, we bought a Bible now. We've got a brief introduction on where to start based on our personality, just to kind of dip our toes in the water of the Bible. Now I've covered a couple. I got a ton of things on my bookshelf here, and but I've covered a couple supplemental readings, that might help you gain a good bigger picture of the Bible and different ways to do that, whether it's bedside reading or actual commentaries. And moving forward, now that we're about to enter into the Great Fast, I want to go through the major biblical covenants of the Old Testament, just so we could start to see very superficially how the Old Testament fits together and leads to the person of Jesus Christ. And then during Holy Week and right before, leading up to Good Friday, I'll focus mainly on the person of Jesus and his fulfillment of the Old Testament. So that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. And of course, if you have any ideas or suggestions, find me at church, or shoot me an email or something, or leave a comment in the Facebook post here. Any of those ways would be great. And of course, if you need a Bible, again, don't hesitate to find me or Audie or Father or somebody, and we could definitely give you one of the copies that we have at the church for you to follow along. So God bless. And